In today's video, we are going to be ranking the best ways for you to increase your net worth. Now, if you've watched my videos before, you will know that I've been on a very, very long journey trying to increase my net worth and reach a $100,000 net worth as soon as possible. And I think there's some things that I've done that have really helped. There's some things I've done that have not helped at all. And in today's video, I kind of want to go through and rank them. Things that are going to print you money and absolutely explode your net worth, to things that if you make this decision, you kind of just sit there and question, why would you do that? And that affected your finances in a negative way. So let's get into it. Let's break each one of these down. I'll give you guys the reasons why I believe it's in the category it should be in. And some of these I'm going to speak from experience here. So let's get into the video. And really quick, before I get into this video, for those of you who don't know what your net worth is, basically your net worth is your assets minus your liabilities, and that equals your net worth. Now, obviously, this is an important number because this is kind of the true value of how much money you actually have. So obviously, the higher the net worth, the more money you have, the lower the net worth, the less money you have. First up on the list here is moving cities for a new job opportunity. This is not moving just to move and experience new things. This is specifically if you know you can obtain a higher paying job in a different city. I think this is a really strong way to increase your net worth. I'm actually someone who did this. If you keep up with my YouTube videos, you would know that earlier this year, I actually moved from Florida to Arizona for a job opportunity. And then I ended up getting a whole new, completely different job in California on the West Coast. Now, the truth is, if I never moved out of Florida, I would not be in the income position I am today. And I had probably applied to over 500 different jobs in Florida and nothing was sticking. And different cities, look, they have different job markets, different industries, different levels of kind of varying opportunity. And there's places where your skill set might be just really average, while there's places that exist that your same skill set might be really in demand. So moving can really open a lot of doors that simply don't exist where you might currently live. You know, what's cool too is it forces you into a new environment. Now, I do want to say that obviously moving to a new city, the cost of living can go up, rent might get a little bit higher, everything might be a little bit more expensive depending on what city you go to. But if the income increase or the career opportunity is strong enough, I personally think that trade-off is worth it, even if the city's more expensive. Plus, if you watch any other financial YouTubers who talk about their, net worth and increasing their income, honestly, I would say most of them have done this as well. It's definitely a very popular way to increase your net worth. Obviously, there's a lot of logistical stuff that goes into moving, to a new city. But overall, I think this is something that definitely helps. Once again, it's very individual and it definitely depends on the situation you're in, but I think this can help a lot. The second one on the list here is side hustles. Now, I get a little bit iffy talking about side hustles because especially in 2025, 2026, everyone talks about having a side hustle. Like if you don't have a side hustle, you're doing something wrong. It's so easy. All you got to do is go wash some cars or make a YouTube channel. And here's my thing. I think side hustles are an amazing way to increase your net worth. However, I do think the barrier to entry is harder than people make it sound, right? In order to have a profitable side hustle to where you are actually making money after your expenses, it's not an easy thing to do, especially if you have a 9-to-5. So keep that in mind as I talk about side hustles, because I'm fully aware that having a side hustle that pays you anywhere from $500 to $1,000 to $2,000 a month, it's pretty hard for the average person. But once again, it's a great way to increase your net worth because all you're doing is you're increasing the streams of income that you have. And I think the best part about side hustles that get overlooked a lot is what you actually do with the money that you earn from a side hustle. A lot of people, when they have a side hustle, instantly after they start making money, their lifestyle is going to inflate. They're going to start buying new things, whatever. My opinion is if you have a side hustle, you have really two things you can do with it. You can invest the money back into the side hustle, or you can start investing or saving that money. And if you take that extra income and consistently invest, whether that's into the market or your Roth IRA, anything long term, you're basically building kind of a second foundation for your finances. And the best part is your 9 to 5 is still covering pretty much all your day-to-day living expenses. So I don't think side hustles are about just making more money. I think they're about what that money can turn into and how you can leverage that money. So if you are able to get a successful side hustle, this definitely stacks up. It can almost print money for you depending on what it is, but for the most part, this is going to stack up and really help your net worth. Next up on the list is building high income skills. Now, here's one thing I want to say about this. Once again, kind of like side hustles. I think this gets talked about a little too much lately, where it's like, oh, if you know how to code, you're going to, increase your net worth overnight 10x and you'll find a 6-figure job tomorrow. In 2026, we have this very big fascination with quote high income skills. Realistically, I think some of this stuff is a waste of time, if I'm being honest with you guys, and I don't think it's going to increase your net worth. However, where I do think high income skills help a lot is making you as a potential candidate look more attractive to employers. If you have high income skills, and here's the caveat, you're able to pair that with a strong work ethic, in my opinion, you already are better than 90% of the employees out there. And here's what let me give you guys a story of what I mean by that. I have very minimal high income skills. I kind of know, data analytics. I know a little bit of coding, but with those minimal high income skills I work harder than probably 90% of the team I'm on. And just because I do that, I look better as a candidate for promotions, for whatever it might be, in comparison to the people on my team that might have 10 high income skills and they're masters at all of them. So it really depends on how hard you work as well and how well you're able to mesh those together. Now, is learning high income skills going to increase your net worth overnight? Probably not. But once again, if you're looking for a new job, this can help you, it can help you look better to employers, to a company, and it also raises your earning potential. Someone without coding on their, skill list might only have an earning potential of $60,000 a year. The minute you learn how to code though, now you might have a ceiling of $100,000 a year. So kind of you have to play the game with it. It kind of scales. I personally think learning high, income skills, it definitely helps. It's not everything. You don't need to know them to be successful, but it can definitely help increase your net worth and help you get a better job. Next up on the list is contributing towards a Roth IRA. Now, the younger you do this, the better it's going to work out for you. And I think this is a solid move for building your net worth. But it's not something that's going to feel life-changing right away. Most people, you're going to open a Roth IRA, you're going to start contributing, put some money in there, and you're going to be like, well, what next? My money's not really growing that fast. And it's because with a Roth IRA, you really have to treat it as a long-term play. The main benefit of a Roth IRA, if you don't know, is that your money is going to grow tax-free. So anything you invest inside of it, whether that's index funds or ETFs, they can compound over time without, you paying taxes on those gains when you withdraw them during retirement. And now, obviously, if you think about it, that's a huge advantage, especially if you have a long period of time for investing. Now, the thing is, obviously, when you're investing in a Roth IRA, this strategy is going to work best when you're already in a good financial state, And if you're not, let's say you're living paycheck to paycheck, I wouldn't necessarily focus on this right away. I would focus on building an emergency fund, getting savings, paying off debt. And then once all those things are covered, from there is when I would really focus on trying to go heavy and max out and invest into a Roth IRA. Now, how does this stack up when it comes to increasing your net worth? I personally think if you're young, if you're in your early 20s and you can start maxing out your Roth IRA today, tomorrow, whatever it might be, and I know that's no easy task, this can definitely print you money later on in life. Because if you think about it, if you can be disciplined enough to not pull that money out until, you're at retirement age, you're going to pull all that money out tax-free. And that's going to be the best feeling in the world. Now, yeah, you're going to have to wait till you're 59 and a half plus to see that money. But let's be honest, most of us are going to be at that age at some point, and we're going to wish we have money to spend, and that's where our money's going to come from. So you will be able to live life happily and not worry about anything if you're able to start using this as, your net worth increaser. Next up on the list, this is something I've never done, but it's living with roommates. And the reason I'm including this on the list, even though I've never done it, is because I know people, friends, and family who have done this, and it's helped them a lot. And if you have had a roommate before and it's helped you save money or live frugally or increase your net worth, let me know in the comments down below, because I've never lived with a roommate. Granted, I live with my girlfriend and she helps me pay rent, but I'm talking about like a bro roommate or whatever it might be. And I think this is probably one of the most underrated ways to increase your net worth. Now, obviously, this isn't for everyone. Not everyone has people they can live with. Not everyone wants to live with someone. You know, some people might want to live alone, and that's fine. But pretty much the main draw of this is, instead of paying $1,500 to $2,000 a month on your own rent, maybe you're paying half that. Maybe you're paying a third of that. Maybe you're paying a fourth of that, depending on how many roommates you have. And that difference every single month can go towards paying down debt. It can go towards putting money in your Roth IRA. It can go towards building a side hustle. It can literally go towards anything. Once again, the key is what you do with that extra money. If you're living with roommates and then you're buying Louis Vuitton belts every 5 weeks, you're not really benefiting yourself. But if you're living with roommates and you're investing and living below your means, you can really skyrocket your net worth and put yourself in a really good financial, position. You can save money on rent, and you can take that extra money you're earning and apply it towards anything else, easily stack up. For anyone out there, next up on the list here is chasing every single investment trend that's happening right now. And this is one of those things that, look, we all do it. I've done it, at least, where when I was first getting into investing and first learning about investing, I would watch a YouTube video and I would see some guy talking about, oh, you got to buy this today. This is going to blow up in a week from now. And I would buy it, and a week later it's down 6%, and I would sell it. Lock in a 6% loss. I would do it with cryptocurrency. Oh, this coin's going to be at, $100 billion tomorrow. I'd buy $5 of it and lose my $5, whatever it might be. And a lot of people, when you're learning about finances, they get stuck in this trap of they chase every investment trend, because people you see online, when they talk about things that, they have conviction in, it's pretty convincing that you want to buy it yourself. And you're like, oh, that guy's probably right. He seems like he knows what he's talking about. He has a Lamborghini behind him. So, of course, I should buy Monkey Coin. But the truth is, it doesn't always work like that. Like, you can't do stuff like this. I've consistently increased my net worth every single month by keeping my investments super simple, S&P 500 trackers, broad ETFs, world funds, whatever it might be. There's a saying out there we've all heard. It's called keep it simple, stupid. And when it comes to investing, this is by far some of the best advice you'll ever get. It's just to keep it simple. When you are chasing trends, there's no strategy, there's no consistency, there's no foundation. And over time, you're probably just going to lose that money. So this is just a why, though. People, you can tell me in the comments down below. People can try to justify it, but at the end of the day, it's too stressful for me. I wouldn't want to deal with that stress, and I'd rather just keep my investments safe where I know they're making me money. Next up on the list is automating your investments. Now, in my opinion, this is by far the biggest reason why my net worth has continued to go up, because about a year and a half ago, I decided I was going to automate my investments on a weekly basis, and I have never looked back since then. And I absolutely love automating my investments. And this is something I've talked about before. Basically, let me be honest with you guys, the best part about automating your investments is that if you're anything like me, I do not like manually investing my own money. I don't know why. I have this psychological barrier that if I go into my account and pull money out to invest it, I feel like I'm losing that money. I would rather all of this happen in the background. And as I mentioned prior, if you invest your money into long-term, safe ETFs and funds, there's no reason to really stress about your investments. So by automating everything, you don't have to lift a finger, you don't have to time anything, you can dollar cost average, automate your investments and let them roll. So pretty much what I would recommend for most people, and obviously this isn't financial advice, but if you're struggling getting invested, the best thing you can do is automate some investments. And what's nice is I do daily buys of like $5, and it adds up over time. Now, obviously here and there, I'll, invest a little bit more where I want to, but for the most part, every single day, I buy about $5 of the stock market. I don't touch anything. I don't look at anything. It comes right out of my account. And once again, I think automating your investments is one of the best ways to just absolutely stack up your money. Obviously, this isn't going to print you money because it depends on how much money you're actually using for investments, but I do think this stacks up over time, and it's the lowest barrier to entry when it comes to investing for anyone. If you're struggling investing, look up how to automate your investments, and you can literally start investing once you're done watching this video. Next up on the list here is putting it all on black or red. Now, let's be honest. Here we go. You could double your money in about 30 seconds, right? This is a great way to increase your net worth. It is also a great way to absolutely destroy your net worth. So it really depends on your risk tolerance. Now, this isn't investing, right? It's not a strategy. There's no compounding involved. This is just as clear day as it gets gambling. And there's no edge behind this, no consistency. So while it might, sound fun in theory, everyone say it with me, gambling is bad. I don't care how many times you've seen someone on YouTube put $20,000 on black and then go buy a Rolex the next day. Life doesn't work like that. The likelihood that you go into a casino and put half your net worth on black, granted, you have a 50-50 chance to win, but I'm not taking a 50-50 chance. That does not sound fun to me. I don't like a coin toss to decide my future if I'm living in a cardboard box or not. So once again, say it with me. Gambling is bad. Don't put your money on black or red. Stay away from the roulette tables. Don't go to casinos. This is just a why, though. I know it's fun for some people, but if we're trying to be financially responsible, I will take full, accountability being the killjoy. Don't do this. This is a bad idea. Next up on the list is taking advantage of maxing your employer 401k match. Now, if you are not familiar with a 401k, it's basically the company retirement plan that they offer you. And there's this thing called a 401k match where if you put in a certain percentage of your paycheck, they will typically match you up to a certain percentage. Now, if you've heard people talk about this before and you hear free money getting thrown around and you think it's a scam or a gimmick, it is not. I am here to tell you, this is my public service announcement. If your employer is offering any type of match, it is literally free money. It's that simple. For example, the company I'm with right now, they offer a 4% match if I put in 5%. That's it. All I have to do is invest 5% of my paycheck into my 401k, and my company will give me 4%. It's that simple, and it's that easy to start compounding money really fast. Now, like most things on this list, this is not going to feel life-changing right away. But once again, when we are tracking our net worth, this isn't something we're trying to, explode overnight. Our net worth can be, take 20, 30 years to get it to a number we're happy with. So while it's not going to feel life-changing overnight, this is definitely going to compound over time. Now, I will show you guys evidence how well this works. If my old 401k account lets me get back in, you can see what I, put in and what the company matched. And if I'm not mistaken, if the screenshot's not up here, my old company matched $11,000 of their money just because I worked there and I put in 6%. It's literally free money. So you have to take advantage of this. This is one of the easiest ways to just stack up your net worth. If you are investing in a 401k, good on you. And if you're getting that employer match, even better. And if you're not, I highly recommend you reach out to HR, your manager, whatever it might be, ask them if they offer a match and get on that plan as soon as you can, because that's really going to help you stack up and really blow up your net worth. Next up on the list is day trading with no experience. Kind of like I mentioned before with chasing investments, a lot of people, and maybe I'm projecting because this is something I did. When I was around 23 years old and I first started getting into investing and learning about how money works and compound interest, I was like, oh, I'm going to day trade. I've seen all these videos, it's like a 15-minute video. He's going to tell me how to 10x my money overnight, and all you got to do is day trade. Sounds simple. So I'd watch a few, people talking about candlesticks and talking about I don't even know what they call I don't even know anything about day trading, if I'm being honest. But I remember watching a few videos, and that day I bought some stocks and they went up and they went down, and realistically, I made no money from this. And this is one of those things that if you have no experience, you should stay so far away from day trading that you cannot see it anymore and it doesn't exist in your life. Now, obviously, if you are a skilled day trader, you can absolutely make money doing this. Every day trader, that has good strategies, while yes, they're going to lose some, they can definitely win some. But if you have no experience day trading, please do not do this. This is by far a why though. This is one of the easiest ways to lose money. Once again, if you don't know what you're doing, and let's be honest, a lot of people out there have absolutely no reason to be day trading. They don't know what they're doing and would be so much better off putting their money and just getting, normal market returns on their money. Next up on the list is buying a used car instead of a new one. I think this is probably some of the best advice you could ever take. Be frugal with your cars. It will save you so much money. If you actually watch my most recent video prior to this one, you'll see how I lost around $85,000 buying cars and upgrading them and then just selling them. And what's funny too, if you've messaged me before, I appreciate it. I like talking to my subscribers, but I have gotten a lot of, personal emails of people saying, hey, I watch your videos. I heard you talk about cars. I'm in my 20s and I have a $60,000 job and I want to buy this $40,000 car. Instantly no. Why? No, do not do that. Car prices are through the roof right now. Insurance, rates are through the roof right now. Gas prices as of today are through the roof right now. Do not go above your means when it comes to a car, because here's the thing with a car. A car is an asset, so I count it towards my net worth. However, it's a depreciating asset, so it's going to lose value over time. Any expenses you have on a car, you're not going to see any return on investment with them. Anything you do to a car, you're not going to see any return on investment with it. Any miles you put on a car, the more it's going to go down in value. Literally, cars are machines with tires on them that you drive around and constantly lose value in every single day. That's what a car is. So if you can go the cheapest, safest, most reliable route with a used car, that is by far the best advice I could give you. For example, one of my buddies that I used to work with, he had a 2007 Toyota Camry. That car had 315,000 miles on it. It cost around $40 to fill up the whole tank of gas. It ran perfect, no issues with it, looked pretty decent, was comfortable, quiet, reliable, and guess how much he owed on the car? $0 a month because it was fully paid off. That is the stuff I'm talking about when it comes to buying a used car, and those are the recommendations I would make, something like that for you. So if you are able to buy a used car, and specifically one that you don't have a car payment on, this helps a lot. This is a great way to increase your net worth. This is definitely going to help you get yourself on the right track, not even just with your net worth, but just financially. It's going to help you save more, invest more, build your emergency fund, whatever it might be. Next up on the list here is increasing your savings rate instead of your lifestyle. And I think this is one of the most, best things you can do to increase your net worth, but it's also just a great financial habit to live by. As your income is going to start to go up, whether it's from a raise, from a new job, from a side hustle, whatever it might be, the natural reaction for 95% of people is, okay, I'm making more money. I'm going to go upgrade everything. I'm going to go upgrade the technology around me. I'm going to go buy a new car. I'm going to upgrade my clothing. I'm going to go eat out more. I'm going to upgrade my apartment. And it makes sense, right? As people who want to enjoy our lives and who want to enjoy what we work for, whenever we make more money, we go upgrade our lifestyles. But if you actually want to build wealth, you need to do the exact opposite. Instead of, upgrading your lifestyle, what you need to do is you need to increase how much you save and invest instead of how much you're spending. So for example, right, if you are making X amount of money and you get a 40% raise, and before this 40% raise, you were saving 10% of your money. Well, with this 40% raise, you should save 20% of your money now. You should double your savings rate. And obviously, I know a 40% raise is a massive amount of money, but you get the gist of it. Anytime you get a raise, you should increase your saving and investing rather than your spending. That's one of the best ways. It's such a simple technique, but it's one of the best ways to actually stack your money up over time. So this is one of those things, like I said, stacks your money over time. It keeps you in a right financial mindset and doesn't let your lifestyle get too out of control. So this is just a great, habit to, implement into your finances in general. Next up on the list is job hopping. Now, what's funny about job hopping is I was actually completely against this. And in the past month, I've completely 180'd my opinion on job hopping because I am now technically, I guess, a job hopper, and I hop from one job to another, and I significantly increase my income. And here's the secret, right? No matter how much you save, invest, or on top of your finances, if you're not bringing in a lot of money, everything's going to be very marginal gains. Nothing's going to be crazy. Until you're able to increase your income by a lot is when you're going to see true financial gains. Now, I am not saying that to deter anyone if you're not making a lot of money. You can absolutely increase your net worth every single day, week, and month if you don't make six figures, if you don't make $80,000 a year, if you don't make $60,000 a year. But if you're able to job hop and literally double your income overnight, I think it's one of the best things you can do for your finances. Now, obviously, just like moving, there's a lot of logistics that go into this, right? This is something that needs to be planned out. You need to make sure you're hopping to a good company. You need to make sure that you're not just making a bunch of horizontal moves and not actually growing in your career. You need to make sure you're not abusing it too much to where your resume looks like a mess and you just see different jobs every single year. So it's one of those things that if you can do it right, I do believe it's one of the fastest ways to increase your income. And increasing income plus all the other stuff I've talked about on this list, other than the whys those, if you can increase your income and do everything else, you're going to explode your net worth. So I think this can print money by far, especially if it's something that, you're able to job hop and double your income overnight. I mean, you're literally printing money at that point. Next up on the list here is living below your means. And this is one of the easiest ways to increase your net worth because contrary to what I was talking about with job hopping, where that's kind of hard and there's a lot of stuff that goes into it, living below your means is something you could do right now. You could pause this video, look at your subscriptions, see if there's stuff that you shouldn't be spending money on and cancel it. You could make a grocery list, try to take advantage of different deals. You could stop spending money on microtransactions if you knew that was something you were going to do today or sometime later in life. It doesn't really matter, but living below your means is something truthfully, we could all do right now. It's a very low barrier to entry way to actually start increasing your net worth. And when you're in your 20s, especially your early 20s, your income's lower, right? So it's not always easy to max out your Roth IRA. It's not always easy to go buy a used car. It's not always easy to increase your savings rate. But what is typically easier is living below your means, being intentional about where your money's going, about, what you're spending your money on, why you're spending your money, if it's a necessary purchase, if it's not a necessary purchase, is it something you're actually going to use, if there's a return on investment, whatever it might be. And by doing all of this, you're clearing up your finances to actually deploy them. So if you live below your means, now you might have more money to save. You might have more money to throw into an emergency fund. You might have more money to invest. So it can really help you grow your net worth. And I think for, a lot of younger people, living below your means is getting harder. I'm not, unaware of that. I know living below your means is not the easiest thing to do, but it definitely can help. And in the long run, in my opinion, if you are able to do this for a very long amount of time, this will print money for your net worth. Next up on the list here is owning a piece of something, any type of positive asset. And I think this is one of the most important ideas when it comes to building your net worth because look, wealth comes from owning things. If you look at the net worth equation, it's assets minus liabilities. Assets are things that we own pieces of. This could be stocks where you own part of a company. This could be real estate where you own a property. It could be a business where you directly benefit from its growth, whatever it might be. And the reason this matters is because that equity is going to give your money the ability to grow on its own. If you're only earning income from your 9 to 5, your net worth is going to scale based on how much you can work, how many hours you put in, and how much money you can save. But when you own assets like stocks or property, those assets will increase in value over time without you having to trade more work hours for it. Now, I will say this. Not all equity is the same. There's risk involved with everything. There's a lot of risk in the stock market. If you're getting into sketchy stocks or things that haven't performed well, you could possibly lose money. there's a lot of risk when it comes to real estate. A lot of people say, oh, you buy a house, it'll go up over time. And while that's true, depending on when you plan to take profits, you need to be very careful about when you decide to buy a house, what the interest rates are, if you're in the right cycle. So that's why I like to keep it very simple, right? I like to have very simple stocks, safe stocks that I know are going to grow over time and I don't have to pay attention to them. And I know that my money is protected because while I don't do anything and I just work my 9 to 5, I have my money growing for me in the background. So I think having stuff like this, obviously, this is just going to stack up. It's going to grow your net worth and it's really going to help you over time financially. Next up on the list here is only saving your money. And what I mean by that is when I was in my early 20s, I was a chronic saver. All I would do with my money is throw it in a savings account. I wouldn't invest it. I wouldn't try to start side hustles. I wouldn't, look at building new skills with it. I would literally just take money from my paycheck and throw it in a savings account and never look at it. And obviously, when I was younger, I didn't understand the idea of interest. I didn't understand the idea of, money losing value in a savings account. I didn't know what a high yield savings account was. So I had it in a basic Wells Fargo savings account. And I got to the point where I had about $50,000 sitting in there. And now at the age of 26, I'm starting to realize how much money I lost on that and how much, value I lost by letting my money sit there for so many years. The truth is, and even if you're a chronic saver and you like seeing a large amount of money in your bank account, your savings account, you need to get your money deployed and you need to get it working for you. Saving only your money and not investing it, not doing anything else with it, this is meh. And the reason I'm saying that is because obviously you're still going to increase your net worth by saving money, but in compared to everything else on this list, it's not going to grow your money as fast as you'd like. Last thing on the list here is tracking your net worth. Now, this is something I think is super helpful. While obviously this isn't going to increase your income, this isn't going to make you more money, this isn't going to invest your money. It's just a great way to get an idea of the trend and direction your finances are going. I highly recommend that you check out my net worth videos. I think I've been tracking my net worth on this channel for around 6 to maybe 7 months now. So I highly recommend you check out those videos and watch me track my net worth. But once again, tracking your net worth is a very simple thing to do. All you need is a basic Excel spreadsheet. You put your assets on one side, you put your liabilities on the other side, you add them all up, and then you subtract them to get your net worth. And I think this is something that, for me, I think this has helped me a lot, right? I don't, obviously this isn't stacking me money, it's not printing me money, but by tracking my net worth on a monthly basis, it definitely helps me. It helps me stay in the know of how my finances are trending. So that is my tier list for you guys on the best ways to increase your net worth. If you can, try to, start investing in your Roth IRA, live below your means. If you can job hop for a really good job, I'd highly recommend it. Automate your investments, live with a roommate if possible. Definitely get that 401k match from your employer. Buy stuff like stocks or real estate, stuff that's going to make you money over time. If you're looking for a new car, maybe hop into a used one. Don't necessarily only save your money. You want to invest it. And don't put it all on black or red. Don't gamble, don't day trade, and don't chase any cryptocurrency or stock trends because more than likely, like every trend, it dies over time and it's not something easy to perfect. But other than that, I appreciate you guys for watching this video. Once again, I know these tier list videos are long and I tend to yap a lot, but I'm truthfully trying to provide you guys with as much value as possible in these videos because I don't want to waste your guys' time. And I want to let you guys know a lot of this stuff I put on the list comes from my own personal experiences. Pretty much everything on this list I have trial and error with, so I know what's really going to help and I know what's really going to hurt you. So once again, just trying to help everyone out here. Make sure you guys are all trending in the right direction with your net worth, and just want to provide you guys with good videos that you can sit down, watch, and get a good understanding of what's worked for me when it comes to my finances, because I've been paying attention to my finances for probably the past 3 years. So, hopefully this video helps you guys out. I appreciate you guys for watching. I hope you have a good rest of your day. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. See ya.